Today we are inside the Alamo Dome, ready to get a brand new season of UTSA football underway. The off-season is over. Some are calling this the longest off-season, and it certainly felt like that, with anticipation building for this new season to see UTSA join the Big 12, and then you throw in the sudden coaching change. I think we're all just looking forward to seeing how this team can compete this year, and thankfully there is great veteran leadership and a lot of senior starters. 6 starting on offense, 4 on the defensive side. And we kick this season off with a familiar opponent for UTSA. It's their rivals, Texas State. The I-35 rivalry brings these teams together once again to kick off this brand new season, and then UTSA starts their Big 12 schedule next week. Texas State has won the toss and has elected to receive. Junior kicker James Benson is lined up for UTSA. Welcome back to Roadrunner football. The season is underway, and the Bobcats will open at their own 25-yard line. For this Roadrunner defense, there are some key veterans in the front 7. Kellen Thomas at defensive tackle. How does Kyle Jones fare taking over at inside linebacker for Dominic Carter? First play of the season is overthrown by Brady McBride. He missed his receiver, and it's 2nd and 10. Bobcats spreading out the defense. Now a play fake and a pass complete. This is Trevis Graham Jr., and he appears to have enough for a first down. This offense will test the depth of this secondary, that's for sure. They try to set up the screen this time, and Marcel Barbie is taken down, no gain. 3rd down now, the defense backs off a bit. McBride, under pressure, gets it away. It's caught by Groves, and he only gets a few yards. Nice opening sequence here for the UTSA defense as they get off the field. Seamus O'Kelly to punt this one away. It's Vince Taylor back deep, and he can't spin out the first defender. Here comes the offense. What does William Lindsley have in store with a brand new offense as he becomes the new head coach of Roadrunner football? Offset eye to get the season underway. The receivers are Tim Whitaker and Randy Jones, who is the motion man. Play action on first down, and Hancock swings it outside to Randy Jones. It's a gain of 3. They will be very creative in how they use Randy Jones. We saw that in the scrimmage. Now they try to get Moss his first carry. He loses 4, and it's a 3rd and 11 here on the opening drive. 4-man rush. Hancock across the middle. Nearly gets picked off by Sione Tupau. And UTSA has a pretty ugly 3-and-out to get underway. That brings out the punter, Chris Reed. And the Bobcats will have good field position. I'm really excited to see A.J. Brown, the number 1 corner now after a 9-interception freshman campaign. Here's a pass on first down. It gets behind A.J. Brown. That's Marcel Barbie inside the 10. Nearly scoring. He gets 53. Brown tries to press him with no safety help. The jam better work if that's what you're going to do. But now the Bobcats are set up, and they go to the Wildcat. This is Calvin Hill. He will take this in. The Bobcats score first here in San Antonio. Not sure anybody expected the Wildcat this early in the season, but Texas State takes a 7-0 lead. We'll see if this second drive goes a bit better. This is complete to Tim Whitaker, the senior possession receiver. Their own 37, Hancock wants to get outside the pocket and gets tripped up on the play. That's Nico Isadori not letting him get outside. Really nice play here on the dive. UTSA is going in the wrong direction. 3rd and 16, Hancock will float one downfield and nearly gets intercepted again. Well, this has not been the best first impression for this offense, and for the 2nd time, the Bobcats have a short field on offense. Brady McBride underneath. It's caught by Groves, and they'll give him first down yardage. Split backfield next to McBride on 2nd down. And the pass is caught by Hill as Brandon Ford almost got a hand on it, but it just went right past him. Bobcats inside the 30, and McBride pulls this one back. He's got running room and gets taken down by Dallas Johnson. But how about the start here for Texas State? This is impressive. They sweep it now on first down, and Hill is taken down for a loss. That is Andre Ross, the big defensive end. Now UTSA can back off a little. 3rd and 14, time to throw, and this one is nearly picked off right through the hands of Kyle Jones. The defense gets off the field, but here comes the field goal team now for Texas State. And it's a 10-0 start here on the road. A great first quarter for the Bobcats. We need to see this UTSA offense get comfortable. Eric Hancock back to throw, and that is going to be incomplete as Jones collides with the defender. Their passing game looks really out of sync here in the first quarter. Extra protection on 3rd down, and Hancock's got a connection. It's Randy Jones outside the numbers. Nice pocket that time, and Jones gives Hancock the wide open look. Maybe a play like that can finally get this team comfortable. Hancock just 3 of 8 in the air, and now they'll run it off tackle. Good block by Battle. Danny Moss in the open field picks up 17 yards. Moss is by far the fastest player on this roster, and he gets the handoff on first down. Loss of a couple. Moss taking over for Anthony Banks, who ran for 1,000 yards a couple times here in UTSA. Dumped off now, Oliver Carter. It's the tight end rumbling ahead to the 25. It'll be 3rd and short. Expect to see the fullbacks in a lot in short yardage. And Vince Taylor is the running back, just trying to fall ahead. And he gets the first down. Moss back in the game now as UTSA will throw a screen. Randy Jones, he's got first down yardage. And we're already seeing some different ways of utilizing him. He'll pitch this out. Moss racing outside. He breaks a couple tackles. And that's a gain of 3, and he is shaken up. Trainers checking on Danny Moss, and he will exit the game. Vince Taylor in now as the Roadrunners go 3 wide. Hancock to the end zone and broken up. It'll be 3rd down. Trying to get on the scoreboard, and no one wants to settle for 3. Hancock in trouble, stays on his feet, and then gets sacked. Shaquille Pierce brings him down, and that brings on the field goal team for the Roadrunners. And James Benson adds the first points of the season. At least now Texas State doesn't have the short field. 1st and 10, McBride wants to take off, and the ball comes out. It's picked up by Justin Yancey, and UTSA has forced the turnover. Gotta be careful trying to run through this line. You don't want to run into number 60, Kellen Thomas. Or your own offensive lineman and then Kellen Thomas. It's a short field for the Roadrunners, and Vince Taylor off tackle. Good blocking, and slowed down after crossing the 20. Still no Danny Moss out there. Curtis Mills is in the game on 3rd down, and Hancock completes inside the 10. Randy Jones makes it goal to go. 4 catches already for Jones. 5 yards out. Taylor the carry, driving ahead. Stopped at the 1. We knew they would use Evan Newton this year. He's in for the first time here. Inside the 5, and he'll run this in to tie the game. It's the Roadrunners' first touchdown in a long time. Nice recovery after falling down 10-0. It's basically a fresh ball game now. The Bobcats take over, and Hill's going down for a loss. That's great option defense. Kyle Jones on the hit. 3rd down now for the Bobcats. They want to run for it, and they're going backwards again. Brock Sturgis hit down by Chris Washington, and this defense just swarmed. This is definitely more like it. UTSA getting momentum on their side, and a new drive underway. There's a catch for the slot machine. Darren Rose, gain of 11. Nice throw through a tight window there. Hancock to the air again. Whitaker grabs this one and gets about 9. 3 of 6 on third down, don't need much here, and Taylor will have enough. There really isn't a running back on this roster that runs with power, and that's why they'll use the fullbacks so much. Now it's a 3rd and 10. Hancock gonna float this one. He's got his man, Curtis Davis, the freshman tight end. I got high hopes for Davis this year. I think that as a field stretcher at the position, he's got a chance to make an impact, especially in this play-action game. Inside the red zone, dodging pressure. Here's Davis again. He breaks the tackle, stiff arms a defender, touchdown! And that, everybody, is Curtis Davis. That is how you make a first impression. And the Roadrunners have their first lead of the season. They may have tripped out of the gates, but UTSA's offense is looking much better here in the second quarter, and it's now 17-10. Now we have the Bobcats, who did so well early. Are they able to get things under control again? Here's Calvin Hill. He gets tripped up on the play. That's maybe a gain of 5. 54 seconds to go in the first half, and UTSA looking for a stop. But Hill's going to work his way outside and get the first down yardage. Bobcats still have a couple timeouts. Ball at their own 41. McBride to the flats, and he's intercepted. It's Brandon Ford up the numbers. UTSA with a pick 6. That will be 24 unanswered points for the Roadrunners here in the second quarter. The flats are dangerous if you throw it late, and Brady McBride finds that out the hard way. It's now a 2-touchdown game as halftime approaches, and we know UTSA is getting the ball after half. 35 seconds now, and Texas State not done throwing. That's Barbie, but they're running out of time. They still have the one timeout. Here's McBride on second down. He'll let this one fly, and he's got Barbie. The defenders collide, and he will score. What an answer. Throw it up to your best receiver and hope for the best. Texas State makes it a one-score game again. Here's Jason Hall trying to get over. He ends up tripping over Jason Holmes. That's just the perfect play for Texas State. Very fortunate after the pick 6. Now we have just 21 seconds to go here in the first half. Now Hancock's going to throw deep downfield for Randy Jones. And he's going to take this one all the way for a touchdown. What an end to the half. UTSA had 17 points with around a minute left on the clock, and they've scored twice. Randy Jones just runs by everybody. Safety's got to get over in that situation. 31-17. All of the Roadrunners' points scored here in the second quarter. They managed to turn this game around and now find themselves in control. Overall, there have been a lot of good things from this UTSA offense, but they're going to play the rest of this game without Danny Moss, and Vince Taylor will be the primary running back for the rest of the day. Now, they have scored on their last 4 drives, including 3 touchdown drives. The last one, a nice quick strike. Roadrunner football to begin the second half. Outside goes Vince Taylor, and he turns the corner. Down the sideline with great speed. Taylor tripped up after a 49-yard run. Even without Danny Moss, there's still good speed in this backfield, and that's how they want to attack defenses. Curtis Mills now in the game, and that's a gain of 2. They'll bring Jones in motion here on second down. A little play fake, and wide open! Touchdown! Oliver Carter! And UTSA keeps on rolling here at home. They're on a 38-7 run. 3 touchdown passes now for the senior quarterback, Eric Hancock. Texas State started strong, but they've let this one really get away from them. Nice run back here by Sturgis, and it's not going to count. Texas State has to show they can move the ball when they don't have a short field. They did well when they started near the 50, but they haven't really established that long drive yet. 1st and 10, McBride under pressure, delivers outside to Chandler Spates. Very nice throw under pressure. This is a key drive for Texas State. They'll pitch this one to Hill, and he's caught in the backfield again. They've been really inconsistent with this running game. 3rd and 17 now is a tough spot to be. McBride, jump throw. It's Barbie, a long way to go, and about 6 yards short. The Bobcats still can't get it done on 3rd down. UTSA Football, Hancock dumps it off. This is Tim Whitaker for 4 yards. UTSA has been very good on 3rd down, 5 of 8 so far. Now underneath, this one is dropped by Darren Rose, and he probably wouldn't have gotten there anyway. Here's Texas State getting the short field again. They've done well in these situations. Here's Graham, gain of 5. Just 1 3rd down conversion for Texas State. They need 4 yards here, and they trust Hill. He runs left and gets it. Calvin Hill's had some key plays for this team. They're inside the UTSA 30 now. Brady McBride sees nothing, takes off, and he is sacked. That is Preston Quinn, the redshirt freshman that I'm really excited about there at left end. Another tough 3rd down. McBride in trouble. He gets it to Sturgis, and he'll be stopped around the 21. And they're just going to bring out the field goal team here. Not sure that really does a whole lot for them. But trying to get to 20 points, and this kick is no good. He missed it wide left. UTSA still up by 21 points, and they take over. This is Vince Taylor on the carry, running through arm tackles and spun around. It's a gain of 13. Taylor's looking really good in the place of Danny Moss, as I expected. But now he's going down for a loss. Whitaker, Rose, and Randy Jones are the receivers. This is 2nd and 12. Good coverage, and the ball's out, but recovered by Mike Herring. Bobcats could have really used the turnover there, but they'll have to settle as Mills gets 6 yards, and it's 4th down. The Bobcats have it to start the 4th quarter. They have a long way to go and need 3 touchdowns. McBride trying to run, and he gets sacked again. Kellen Thomas gets the credit. Way too many negative plays for Texas State. McBride through the hands of Trevis Graham, and again, 3rd and more than 10. They've been here an awful lot today. Secondary can sit back a little bit. McBride airing it out, and this pass is overthrown. Vince Taylor no longer back to return kicks as he is the primary running back, so it's Darren Rose getting a turn. And he'll head towards the far sideline and heads out after a 14-yard run back. Solid field position here for UTSA, trying to run some clock. 1 yard for Taylor. 3rd down, pressing the receivers. Hancock waiting, now fires outside again. That's Randy Jones for 13. And that is going to be a UTSA single game record. 146 yards. It might not sound like a record-breaking number, but this is a very young program. Hancock trying to set up the screen, and that got knocked down. Otherwise, Mills had room. Not in field goal range here. 3rd and 9. Hancock fires complete. It's Randy Jones. He is the playmaker this offense will run through. Out of the eye. Taylor off tackle. Follows his blocks. There's 5. They're going to motion Brandon Reese now on 3rd and short. Taylor gets the carry, and they convert. They've been really good today in short yardage. And they've been good down here in the red zone. 3 touchdowns and 4 trips. And there's the first catch for true freshman Joe Wright, seeing some action here late. On 2nd down, Taylor cuts downhill into the end zone. Touchdown, UTSA. And that should just about wrap this one up. Just a beautiful touchdown run, getting downhill and running in untouched. 45-17, a great start to the year for UTSA. And this is going to be their only chance to get ready before Big 12 play gets underway. What a throw. Travis Graham hauls that one in. A lot of backup defenders are in for the Roadrunners now. Texas State, 2 minutes to go. That's knocked down. Keith Cowan trying to keep Texas State to just 17 points. This is a run inside, and that will get the first down yardage. They haven't had too many third down conversions like that. McBride now runs outside. That is a first down, and the Bobcats now 5 yards away. Just trying to close the game strong. McBride to the air on second down. He fires this one for Hiltz, and that is a touchdown catch. Texas State makes it a 21-point game again. They'll try an onside kick now. And this one is kicked around, but picked up by Joe Wright. UTSA has it. And that will be the end of this one. The I-35 rivalry is won by the Roadrunners, and they start the season 1-0. That's what you want to see getting the season underway. A strong showing by both the offense and the defense. But we still want to see how they're going to handle the jump in competition, going to take on teams in the Big 12 Conference. There are already a lot of ranked opponents on the schedule that UTSA has never faced. I think we have a good team here, but are they good in comparison to Big 12 teams? Because that's who we're going to be playing. It's not Conference USA football anymore. We started pretty slow on offense today. I'm still getting used to the playbook and everything here once again. I think that'll take probably a few games, but I think by the end of it, I had a good grasp on what I want to do with this team. Defensively, I thought they were pretty tough when they focused on what they did best, but when they would go to like these option plays, they would lose a lot of yardage there, and they kept falling behind the sticks. If they had just removed some of those negative plays and had a more traditional running game, I think they would have been much more difficult to handle. Once we get them to those tough third downs, they're right where we want them to be. I do want to get more players like Joe Wright involved. I have to figure out all the formation subs and all of the packages I can do at the line of scrimmage in those formations, because I want him to play quite a bit. And he was out there a fair bit today, but wasn't always open when I wanted to look his way. I want to end the video today talking about recruiting. I'm expecting it to be a good challenge because we are a one-star program with a brand new head coach. Now, I've wanted to create some house rules to make it more difficult in this series because recruiting in NCAA 14 isn't the most difficult. I'm going to show you the players in this class, at least the top players and those I am targeting right now. This is not the same recruiting class that I showed in the last episode. I restarted the Dynasty file because I had turned the coach progression speed to slowest, and when I was reading through some slider threads on Operation Sports, I saw one that talked about how that can mess with hot and cold streaks for players, and when I was doing a little slider testing, I thought I noticed that as well. So I have a different class than that video, but I am still using the recruiting tool from Fang. I'm using an edited version of Seagator's sliders I'll show here at the end. But here's a look at the players we are currently targeting in recruiting. So the rules I have in place will always be in the description, but they are going to be: I can go after any player who already has top 10 interest in UTSA. Most of our board are players who already had some interest. The other players I can go for are anybody 3 stars or under anywhere. And then when it comes to 4 and 5 star players that aren't already interested, I'm looking at their bonus factors. I want 2 of those factors to be at least a B-, or 1 if they're already in a pipeline. Does that seem like a fair system? That's why Demetrius Gonzalez here is on the board. We have one of those bonus factors at an A-, and he's in one of our 2 pipeline states. At the same time, I will not be scouting players and instead have to go off of the letter grades. I've seen a lot of people scout like this, and I am up for the challenge because the recruiting in this game, like I've talked about, is not all that difficult, and I enjoy making this a lot more challenging. Maybe I'll be recruiting some busts, but that's just kinda an element to Dynasty I've never had to worry about because scouting gives you all those answers. Now, I also had the idea of saying the number of stars we have is kind of the number of wildcard players we can target. Troy Atkinson would not be a fit otherwise. He is the one wildcard player that doesn't fit any of the criteria, but I'm trying to recruit him right now because I think it's a lot more realistic that we could actually get him. So there are a few other players here that I have been interested in, but they're not all that high in overall. The interest when you look at recruiting right away is not great. There are only 3-star players and under who are actually interested already. And then I went through our pipeline states to find some players who had some of those bonus factors that aligned with us, and we could get some extra points there. And I think it just makes way more sense to go after players who have interests that align with your school. Here's a quarterback I found that I think is interesting, Casey Moody. I love those rushing ratings, those B letter grades, A elusiveness. You hope for good speed to go with it. Don't expect an amazing recruiting class here in this first season. It would be pretty difficult to pull off with this team being a 1-star program that the top prospects aren't interested in. But that's what I'm thinking of when it comes to recruiting. Definitely much tougher than recruiting in any of my other dynasties, and that's what I'm looking forward to. So next episode, we're going to take on Oklahoma State. That's how Big 12 play gets underway, and they are ranked. My series in the past have not really done much with the Big 12 schools, so it's going to be pretty cool to face a bunch of different teams. Other than Texas, we faced them quite a bit in the Kalispell Dynasty. But I'm excited to see how we stack up against these teams. The Big 12 is not, the SEC, but I still think it's going to be a competitive conference. Now, I have been checking out the slider updates in the College Football Revamped Discord, and I've been using the latest version that has made some changes, and I really like how it's playing. That one wide receiver catching, I really was against it at first, but then I tried it, and it really doesn't act the way you think it would, We didn't have a bunch of drops or anything, but it's a slider that's pretty key for CPU man coverage. I did make the user run defense tougher. I always like to do that. But otherwise, it's pretty much those sliders. I edited user tackling, CPU running back ability, and I'm doing kind of my own thing with the fatigue setting you can do in the DB editor. There's a bunch of stuff you can do that you can't actually touch in-game, and that's one of the things that I'm kind of going my own way on. I also like the QB accuracies where they are. I have the CPU playing on 6, the user on 7. You'll get some more misses that way. Doesn't fix everything here in NCAA 14, but it does play a pretty good game of football, I'd say. And that will do it for this episode, the first game in the UTSA Revamped Dynasty. I hope you're excited to have this series back and to get underway with Big 12 football next time. Please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all next time against Oklahoma State. Have a great day.